Vlogmas day 17. I'm just making the same soup on a different day, and I thought just while I would bring it to the boil and that I would pop in and say hello. Today is an important day on the farm. It is our annual inspection for a scheme called the Red Tractor Quality Assurance Scheme. It's something that we need to take part in, and we need to qualify to get our certificate to ensure that our milk is up to the standard that is expected of us, both within the dairy industry and EU regulations. I'm not sure what's going to happen, you know, if we leave the EU or whatever happens on the Brexit front. I would imagine that the regulations that we have will still stay, but I'm not quite sure. Basically, in the UK, I'm sure a lot of shoppers, if they're out, they'll see a little tractor on a lot of the products. It's on the dairy and meats and porks and things, and it shows the consumer that the product has passed various stages of hygiene and animal husbandry and animal feeding products and that type of thing. It's a major test or a major certificate that we need to have to ensure that the price of milk the price of our raw milk stays at the normal level. Without it, the price decreases rapidly, and that's not good. So it's important that we get approved today by the inspector. The test, it lasts about 2 hours, about an hour on paperwork and about an hour inspecting the farm. It covers things like animals' mobility, their housing, medications stored correctly, slurry storage to safe standards, transport trailers to the proper standard for health and safety, certificates that the boys need to have to be able to transport animals, certificates that they need to have to spray weeds and spray ground to be able to put in crops like barley and oats. It covers all medicine records of everything that's purchased and every animal that's given an injection or a treatment of some sort, be it vaccines down to milk treatments when an animal is given a rest period before she calves again. So it's very, very stringent. A lot of the things are very practical things that are done every day and would be done despite whether you had a test or you didn't have, but all these things need to be recorded. Number one for the milk supplier, and number two for these regulations. A lot of them come in through the European Union, so we have to adhere to them to make sure that the commodities that go worldwide also are to the correct standards. So that's what's happening today about 12:30. I'm just making a pot of my lentil soup here, in case dinner's going to be stretched out over a period of time, and in case the inspector would like a bowl of soup a day like that. I try to keep the paperwork up to date for the boys, so I'm feeling a bit stressed this morning because I like to have everything right. I'm just that sort of person, and when he starts asking for things I get a bit anxious. So that's why I thought I would pop in and say hello, because it sort of calms me down when I do this. So you're helping me by watching these vlogs and me making them to keep calm this morning. So today is mainly going to be taken up with that. This afternoon I would quite like to be able to put the marzipan on my cake. Whether I feel like doing that after all this or not, I'm not quite sure. So the vlog, you know, maybe isn't going to be terribly interesting to anyone that hasn't an interest in farming, but we'll see. I have a couple of crafty things I need to do. You never know, I might just get indulged into doing them. We had a lovely evening just yesterday evening up with our son and the daughter-in-law and grandchildren, and we left them their Christmas gifts. and the children were in great form and we had good fun playing some games with them. It's lovely to sit down and play hangman and noughts and crosses or Axioses and all those sort of things that they aren't computerized games, and I just love the children being able to see those. So we came home and we stopped in at a shop called Home Bargains for a few items, just some Christmas paper to let me get on with the wrapping. And I think we were home, maybe it was around 10:30 or so. So we weren't too late, but the journey is quite tiring. So yeah, I was glad to get home not too late. So it was all worth it to be able to see them. As I said, with the journey being sort of 2 hours there and home again, it is very tiring, and they don't get a chance to come down often, and we don't get a chance to go up that often. My son manages a dairy farm also, but he's on his own, and it's just hard to get away. By the time you do all the feeding and things, we're very fortunate here because there's my son works at home as well, so if he wants to get away he can, and if we want to get away we sort of more or less can, as long as nothing goes wrong. So yeah, that's my day. That was last night. Nothing much more to report here, except the stresses of getting through this inspection, and hopefully it'll go well. You get the inspection is divided into, the results are divided into majors and minors. Majors you don't want to have, and minors, some of them are just recommendations, and some of them you have to send in evidence of something you've maybe repaired or something that you've needed to change. So they're not too bad, but you most certainly don't want majors, and you don't want a re-inspection. So by the time you watch this, it will be over and I'll be fit to tell you how well we got on. Yesterday's vlog just went up this morning. I don't know why it didn't go up through the night, but it's there for you to watch should you want to. So I'm going to go finish off this soup, get organised, and I will pop in again later. Bye for now. So it's well into the afternoon now. Our inspector has gone. We got a very good inspection. We have just 3 minor issues that we need to send photographic evidence in of when we correct them. There's nothing major at all, just a little simple tidy up. So I'm in good spirit, and I thought I would attempt this afternoon to make the little favours I want for our family lunch on Sunday. So I'm making these little imitation reindeers. They're made out of 2 candy canes, a little piece of brown felt, some googly eyes, and a tiny pom-pom. And they're very easy to make. It's just a matter of taking the 2 candy canes, and see, some of them seem to be bigger than others. Those 2 better match. And I'm just going to add a piece of tape to them, just ordinary sticky tape to hold them together. It's easier, and we wrap it around them to keep them together. Then I cut pieces of felt. This came as sticky back. It's probably about 5 centimeters by 4 or something like that. I just cut it that it would fit out round the candy canes and meet in the middle at the back. So I just pop it on in the middle and then wrap it out round the front and bring it to meet at the back. And it's easy, no glue or anything, it's very handy. Then the googly eyes just came on a sheet. I think the minimum I could order was 50, but that's okay, we can always use them for something else. So I'm going to add on a googly eye. We'll add on another one,
They're in such harsh plastic, it's very hard to get them. Very hard to get them out of it. So we've added on 2 googly eyes, and then I have some PVA glue just in it's a milk bottle top, milk drum top, and I have the end of a kebab stick actually, and I'm putting a good blob of glue in the centre, and because it dries clear it's good. And then I'm going to add in one of the tiny red pom-poms, and we just put it, and there we have Rudolph Fever. So I'm going to crack on and make some more of these, and that'll be another thing done on my list.